Good afternoon, everyone. It is September the 17th, 2025. Just after I put up the previous video on the affordable housing that the Prime Minister is attempting to solve our problems, our city mayor came out with that he's convinced he's going to he's putting out some sort of a proposal that he's going to stop youth homelessness in 5 years. He's going to combat this problem, and you'll be seeing this when I put up the video, which there's so many different reasons why our youth are homeless, and which is explained, of course, definitely in the video, why our youth are homeless. And in some cases, they've been people who are homeless later in their lives have been homeless when they were youth too. And one of the biggest things that I can come up with is that there's youth that are homeless right now in that age bracket because they go to school and that and trying to get a job. And this is one of the big things as well as coming out with the federal government, that the statistics have come out just showing how bad it is for youth between 18 and 24 who are trying to get a job and are unable to get a job. So they end up sometimes going back to live with their parents, or they try and team up with other people to live with. Oftentimes I've seen them, like I said, some of them try to go back to school. They don't have a place to live, so they end up living in a shelter and trying to go to school at the same time. And the list goes on why we have so much in the problem with youth unemployment as well. So homelessness is also tied to youth unemployment. I just wanted to put that in as well. And just to give you a reference on that, last Saturday I went to the EY Center here in Ottawa, and it was a 55 plus show. And this is a show for seniors. It deals with all kinds of things that seniors are interested in, on medical updates on things, homemaking care. For example, they have the walk-in tubs and stuff on display. So it's a display for the seniors. And of course, I always walk in with my service dog Heidi, and she's always a great big attraction. As soon as I walk in, everybody just loves her and has to come and see her. And you get into a lot of conversations because she's my service dog, but she's also certified as a therapy dog. And people also are aware that you don't touch a service dog when they're working. And with Heidi, it's a different story because she's also a therapy dog, and she's our community dog down here as well. And so she serves me as a service dog, but she also serves as a therapy dog. So I had just got in, and about 10 minutes later, I got into this booth when I walked in, and it was on homemakers come in to help the elderly when they need help in the home. And so we got talking, and they're all crowding me around the booth, and they're all talking to the dog, and they're so impressed because Heidi knows how to shake a paw and do the high five. And so they're all just really impressed with the dog. And then one of the ladies at the booth turned around and she said, are you interested in bringing in Heidi for a job? And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, I work at one of the universities here, and we'd like to have a therapy dog come in and help the students with their stress as well. And I said, no problem. Just give me a call. I'll be happy to come in sometime with Heidi. And I found it kind of ironic that on the way on the train, trying to get some information how to get to the EY Center, I'd run into this young man who was 22 years old. I was talking to him, and we got talking about jobs and that. And another senior was helping me because she was going to the EY Center. So we were having a big conversation about jobs and what it was like when we were younger, and how we'd be able to just have an education and walk right out into a job. And it wasn't just a university degree, a high school degree would get it. And even there was jobs if you only had grade 10 back when I was growing up. So we were having a whole conversation about this, and here I come in, walking in with Heidi, and about 10 minutes later, she's got herself a job, and of course I handed her a resume, and the young man was telling me, at 22, I've been struggling. I have put in 80 resumes, and I had 2 responses back and still no job. So I can see the problem here, and it's serious. But then the flip side of the bit of the humor on this too is here my service dog walks in, as well as she's a certified therapy dog. I hand the woman her resume, because she does have a resume of her background and that. And she's got a job within 10 minutes, and she walks in. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, don't tell me we all have to be dogs with a resume to walk in to get a job. I guess our four-footed friends are really doing really well at helping us and training, and they have extensive training. That's why it's been taking me so long to get her certified as a service dog as well. So everyone is just so pleased. And just to give you another funny story, I don't want all bad news, but there is, and I think you'll be interested in this video that I've got to put on the youth. But it was funny today. I had to go into the bank, and in part of our training, I was showing the teller, and at the bank, being a community dog, everyone knows her at the bank, and they all love her, and they all ask about questions about her, how's she doing, and that. And I said, well, part of her training that I'm doing now, I can show you a new little thing that she does. And so he said, well, the teller said, well, what's that? And I'm saying, well, if you come around, I'll show you what her new trick is. Well, it's not exactly a trick, but what she does, her task to help me. And because I've got arthritis and that in my knees and my hips and my lower back, sometimes there's some days bending to the floor. It gets very difficult. So I was showing him. I said, well, just watch this. So I took my wallet and I put it on the floor, and I told her to take it. And she was trying to get it up in her teeth. And of course, it was so funny because she had everybody laughing because this floor was so slippery. She was trying to grab my wallet, and it was sliding across the bank floor at the same time. But she finally grabbed it, and she handed it to me. So part of her task for me, to helping me out, is her job is to help me out and hand me things, so that when those days when I can't get to the floor very easily, which comes once in a while, she just simply she can hand me something off the floor and give it to me, so I don't have to bend, and I can get it halfway there. So even though I want to give you a little bit of funny things that happened to me in my life, I mean, this is getting pretty bad when the dog can walk in and get a job within 10 minutes with a resume, and a young person cannot even walk in. They've got a full education right up to college, and yet they cannot get an education. So there's something really wrong with our society. We seem to be, I don't know if we're upside down or going sideways, but we're certainly doing something that's not right here, because all these young people should be able to walk out with an education and get a job. And, you want the experience, and that's another problem with the young people today. They can't get the necessary experience that they need. And where do you start? So I'm going to put up that video, and I want you to really take a good look at it and realize that our youth are in trouble too. And they're not the only ones that are in trouble. I mean, the homeless are right across the board, but there's different sections of our society that are really suffering here, and they all need to be brought together and recognized. So I'm going to leave it there, everyone, today. Take care, watch your surroundings, be safe, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.